You never really know someone until you find out what they've buried. Welcome to Hidden Killers with Tony Brueski, featuring retired FBI Special Agent Jennifer Coffindaffer.
Scott Peterson, he's back. 2 new Netflix docu-series and also one on Peacock. 2 very different docu-series. One with the voice of Scott Peterson. Scott, for the first time, giving an interview in 20 years and still proclaiming his innocence. The other one on Netflix, going on the other side, really kind of revisiting the case and laying out just how guilty Scott Peterson truly is. Very interesting to watch. Joining me to discuss, Jennifer Coffindaffer, retired FBI Special Agent. The reason for all this attention is DNA on duct tape. My question to you is, will a single piece of duct tape with some DNA on it, maybe of somebody else, is that enough to get Scott Peterson a new trial despite the overwhelming evidence of guilt that exists in this case?
I think it will get him some consideration, but again, we don't know whose DNA this is. This could completely blow up in Peterson's face, and it could be his or Laci's on it. If it's his or Laci's, it's close the book. He's done. Serve out your time. If it ends up being someone else's, such as, the person that packaged it, the person that handed it to him, somebody else in the house that used it, and so there's other DNA, at that point, they're going to, of course, rule out other people that had access to that tape. In other words, other family members, other people who were around that tape. So they'll try to rule that out. So I think this is going to be a multi-step process in terms of making any determinations.
When they take a look at the DNA, I'm assuming, and you tell me, what's going to be a red flag? What's going to be we need to investigate this further? Is it if it's somebody's already in the system that maybe was around that area at that point in time, who may have a reason to want to kill her, or maybe was hired to kill her, or what? What's going to be the factor here that they can rule out 20 years later? Whose DNA? What if it's not in this system? We don't know who it is. It could have been, somebody at the store that picked up the duct tape as well.
Right. It's really, if indeed that DNA goes back to somebody in CODIS, that's a red flag to me. If it's somebody with a criminal record, unless they happen to work at Ace Hardware or wherever he purchased that, I see that as a big issue. The burglars that were across the street, of course, their situation proved to be an alibi, if you will, because the burglary occurred after Laci disappeared. And in addition, they took polygraphs and passed them with flying colors, even though that's not admissible, I don't believe, in California. By the way, polygraphs are starting to be admissible in multi-states, by the way.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, it's moving in that direction. But in any event, they were ruled out pretty quickly. So now who are you looking at? Some stranger that entered on Christmas Eve and did this horrible crime, and oh, by the way, discarded her body in the exact same place Scott Peterson chose to fish 90 miles away. It would have to be something absolutely off the charts, in my opinion, to get this a new trial.
Will we see any investigation or any examination, you think, of that van? We've heard about the van now, the one that had the mattress in it, that may have some sort of DNA on that. Right now, they're not testing that. There's been no order to do that. But if we find something here that's questionable, do you think they're going to go down that route as well, just to see maybe we have something else going on?
Well, that certainly is a logical step. As I mentioned, I really do see this as a multi-stage situation. If it's not Laci's or Peterson's DNA, then you're going to see multi-steps, and it could include the van and pulling DNA from that for comparison.
It's going to be very fascinating. What do you think is going to happen here if we do have the DNA? Will this? I know you said multi-steps, but is it let's keep moving and digging deeper and deeper before they say, okay, let's do a new trial?
Yes, I think they're going to have to dig deeper than just saying it's not Laci's and it's not Peterson's. I think they're going to have to dig deeper than that. But I think it will be Laci's or Scott Peterson's. I really do. Yeah. I think it's most likely there. Remember, of course, duct tape is so tacky and such a perfect surface for fingerprints, for DNA, for to stick to and to cling to. And it would surprise me that his DNA wouldn't be on tape as she was bound. Although recall, she was at the bottom of the bay for days, for almost 2 months, I believe.
Wouldn't that affect DNA on duct tape? Maybe, I have no idea. But I mean, just thinking that you're in the water, there's all bacteria and things that are eating away at things. How good is that DNA?
Well, they seem to think that with, modern technology in terms of the DNA that was found, that they can, make a decision as to what that DNA, who that DNA goes back to. And I believe they will be able to. Yeah. I mean, this isn't something that that they didn't think was possible.
Sure.
It just wasn't possible back in that day.
Yeah, 20 years ago.
Yeah. Now it's very possible. So I think we'll see. I agree with you, though, that until the scientists say what they can do, that's how we'll truly know.
Sick of the ads? Yep, we are too. Then you need to become a True Crime Today Premium Plus subscriber on Apple Podcasts. Heck, even try it for 3 days free right now. As a Premium Plus subscriber, you'll get exclusive access to uncut interviews before everyone else. Plus, no more commercials. So, if you have an iPhone, just search True Crime Today Premium Plus and press subscribe now.